Hey guys, welcome to this tutorial on MS Excel, and I'm going to teach you the basics and no experience is required. So if you're using Excel for the first time, you'll still, yeah, this will be good for you. So yep, let's get started. Okay, so I'm I've just opened a new workbook over here in MS Excel, and let's start the tutorial. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do some basic formulas. Let's just add a random bunch of numbers over here. There's a 9, a 0, a 10, and here find the sum and the average over here. So you here you want to find the sum of this and this, and average of numbers in all these columns. So to find the sum, we have to add up this cell and this cell together, this selection. So to do that, we begin with an equal sign and we type in SUM, sum, and open brackets, and on this, we click on this, and then we so we do that, sum, and cell B3, 2, that colon is just to say 2 with cell, so click on this, so 2, that to C3, from B3 to C3, and close brackets, and there you got your sum. 1 plus 2 is 3. Now 9 plus 5 should equal 14, so sum, now this is B4 and this is C4, so B4 plus C4, so B4 colon C4, and we can use something else. We can use auto sum to actually let us sum this along with that. So we don't have to enter sum when we're using auto sum, but it's just a good idea you use this. So E6 colon average is pretty much the same thing. So the average of 1 and 2 is going to be 1.5, right? So it's pretty much the same. You just type average, and in parentheses and in brackets you take this number, colon this number, enter, and you get 1.5 as the average. And let's do it again. Average number 1, colon number 2, you get the average. And you can just, let me just finish this for you. So C5 colon C5, and average again B6 colon C6. Just select the cells and you get 22.5. That is how we find sum and average. And those are the most useful formulas in MS Excel, the basic formulas. So in MS Excel is a spreadsheet that lets us store values in a really organized manner in the form of tables. And this, for example, is a table that holds data. And that is why it's a really useful tool when it comes to professions and jobs. I mean, like it's used almost everywhere to store lots of data, and everyone should be acquainted with the basics of MS Excel at least, because it's such a useful tool. So you have a table over here which shows the profession as a title and number of employees. So this is a column. A is a column and number 1 is a row. And under this column you have the subcategories: engineering, programming, builders, scientists, economists. And here you have the number of employees. So engineering, there are 25 employees, programming 20, and so on. And that is a really cool feature. So this is what MS Excel is mostly used for. And so you can let's create another one. So let's do a really basic one. So savings, dollars, person here. Let's just put a random name. So suppose Schwinn and um, Mike, Harvey, and Ross, Smith, and the amount of money that they've saved. So let's just say he saved $100 in his savings. This guy has $20 in his savings. This guy has $10 in his savings. This guy has $2 in his savings. And this guy has just 50 cents. And now that you have this data, sorry about that. So now that you have this data, you can what is this guy? 50 cents. And with this data, you can select this region. So that is your table. Select the region, the whole table, and you can add borders to it. So you have your panel over here, and where you see this. Initially this is like that. Okay, it's actually supposed to be like that. So there's just a little drop down next to it, and it is always bottom border by default. So that's why you have to change it to any border you want. So there's all borders the whole thing, and there's like box border, and so you get the idea. So you can play around with them and see for yourself what you can achieve. And that is the really great feature of MS Excel. So now we can just get the table back. Now we can just move on to using this data and create graphs. So graphs, and so it's actually called charts in MS Excel. So you must be familiar with a bar chart and a line chart. So line charts are used to show the relationship, the rate of change of anything with respect to something else, and a bar chart is just used to compare values. So let's just create a bar chart of this. So there are many options here. So you can have it clustered, means it's together. Stacked means it's on top of each other, and I don't really prefer these options. And 3D clustered column, 3D stacked column. I don't like the stacked column, so let's just go with 3D clustered columns. as you can see, so here also you have many options of modifying it. There are many chart designs, so you can just see which one is really good. I think I'll go with that. So here's the title with savings, and it's set values over here. So Ashwin, being the highest, has saved $100. Mike has saved 20, and Harvey has saved 10, Ross 2, and Smith 50 cents. So as you can see, it shows the value in respect. It compares values. So Ashwin is the tallest, and Mike is shorter, meaning that, yeah, straightforward. It's a comparison between different people in this case. So we can create another table, and let's create a paragraph out of this. So insert, you always go to, so you go to your insert tab, and then you go to bar chart tab, and just click 3D cluster column. No, this time we just do a clustered column, and let's use this one, this layout. So here you have it. As you can see, it's comparison. They're mostly builders since they're 55, which makes sense. And number of employees is the chart title. Now, a line chart is something that is a bit different than this. So a line chart describes the relationship and the rate of change. So if you try to create a line chart of this table over here, let's just try doing that. So insert line chart, and we can just go to line. Now, as you can see, this is actually a little different. This is showing the rate of change of the savings. So it's showing how the savings are going down. So Ashwin being 100, from Mike to a 20, to Harvey being a 10, and Ross being 2, and Smith being 50 cents. So as you can see, it keeps going down and down. That is the rate of change of these numbers. It is. So the steeper the line is, like it's over here, the faster it went down. So here, it suddenly jumped from 100 to a 20. It suddenly went 80 down. So like it just suddenly jumped, and from 20, 10 to 50, it's going relatively slow. So just smoothed out like this, as you can see here. So it goes, jumps down, and is smooth. And then from 2 to 250 cents, that's only a 150. That's only 150. It's only a change of 150. So it's really flat. So that is line graph. It's the rate of change. Now let's create a line graph for this. So graph. So insert line, and here this one is a little different. So engineering is 25, then it goes down to 20 for programmers, and then it suddenly goes up to builders for 55, and it goes down scientists 10 and economists 15. That is the rate of change of the number of employees. But Max is here. So those are line charts, and they both come in really useful. Although for this particular thing, bar charts are more preferable as they compare. But it really depends on what you want to do. So if you want to find the rate of change of anything, you use line graphs. If you want to compare something, you use bar graphs. So let's just get rid of that. So what we can do is, can color this in just so that it looks a bit better. By select it, and you can fill it into color any particular region. So let's just go add a new sheet. So that's one. And now we come to the final part of the tutorial, the Excel for Dummies, and it is using the autofill function that can be really useful. So autofill is used for automatically fitting in patterns. So we have a first term here, 1. We have a first term here, 2. Now, suppose you had to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're making a table. So suppose you're writing a number of something, that'd be x, and you have to write it down all the way to 100. And that would be pretty time consuming. So let's see how far. 7, 8, 9. You can see how time consuming that is, and that's just a waste of time. So what you can do is just put 1 on top and 2, and now you go to the bottom right corner of the cell, the bottom right, and as soon as you go to the bottom right corner, the plus sign becomes a solid black color. A plus sign but solid black, not not just. And the hand usually comes when you want to move the cell or something. We don't want to do that really. So you bottom right corner and hold it and drag it down. But we don't want that. We want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want it to fill it with up to 100. But this is the basic idea of autofill. You have a number, and if you want to write this number down many times, you drag it down and it fills it in for you. But if you want your autofill to adhere to a certain pattern, you have to specify the rule. So the first term is here, the second term is here, and the rule is obviously the first term plus 1. I mean the term plus 1 to get the next term. So once you specified the rule, you can go ahead and just select these two cells, bottom right, drag it down, and drag it down. Let's see, just drag it down to 100. Okay, yeah, there it is, and there we go. It has written to 100, and it is so fast. So it's much better than just writing 1, 2, 3. It just does it automatically for you. So let's just get rid of that for now. And this is not the only pattern you can do it for. You can do it for a variety of patterns. So let's say we did 2, 4. Now you specified the rule here. The term plus 2 should equal to the next term. So make a selection here, and you get a pattern. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. And that is just it. So let's just give it a color and let's give it a fill. Let's add a border to it too, along with all borders. So that is the autofill function, and it is really handy. Use it for any pattern. Use it for 3, 9. I think it is. I'm not sure about this, but yeah. So it's not just any rule, but it has to be an arithmetic sequence. It has to be adding up by a certain number. So that is autofill, an extremely useful tool in MS Excel. So that was the end of the tutorial, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it, and